Hey, cryptozens. Tonight's stories are NFT collector sues OpenSea, Canada's OSC flags Coinbase and Kraken tweets, and Coinbase wallet has Ledger wallet support. The date is February 22nd, 2022, and welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. I'm your host, Nick. The cover model for this podcast is Tex, and together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. We bring you news stories on familiar topics, and keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. If you're new here, and you find that you're liking the show, subscribe and rate us. If you're on Spotify, you can do that right from the app. Give Tex and I 5 stars. It'll help other people find their way to this podcast. Now, there's a lot to talk about tonight. Safeguard your keys and watch your NFTs. Lawsuits over NFT thefts. OpenSea has just had a time of it lately. I mean, some of it's not really their fault. Some of it was things working as designed and folks not thinking about how it was working. Some of it's user error. Some of it is a phishing attack. So even though that this story doesn't directly relate to those cases, the fact that this bug had been previously discovered and OpenSea has had so many problems, I expect this case to be settled quickly. Now, Canada's back in the news with what some might consider to be actions that are designed to put the chill on free speech. Listen tonight, decide for yourself. And Coinbase, reacting perhaps to Canada's Emergencies Act, has taken one more step to help you, the user, secure your crypto. Now, before we get into tonight's stories, let's take a quick look at the markets. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $1.71 trillion. That's up 0.42% in 24. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin up 1.79%, Ethereum up 0.85%, Tether, Binance Coin up 3.1%, and USDC. The top 5 NFT collections by 24-hour volume on OpenSea are metaverse down 61%, Azuki up 32%, CloneX, haven't seen that one for a while, up 18%, Bored Apes are down 10%, and CryptoPunks, the OGs, up 21%. Now keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. NFT collector sues OpenSea. So, OpenSea is facing a lawsuit. The accusation is that they failed to secure their NFT marketplace. And that sounds painful, actually. An NFT collector accidentally sold their Bored Ape for $26. In a lawsuit, they blame a listing issue, and they're asking for $1 million. So when their Bored Ape was sold, the floor price was $200,000, but they argue that it's significantly more rare, has a higher rarity score than the one that Eminem bought, and he bought that for $1.3 million. So that's where they came up with the $1 million. Timothy McKimmey is the one who's bringing that suit. And on the 7th of February, their Bored Ape, number 3475, sold for 1/100th of an ETH. That was about $26. They're asking for $1 million in damages, specifically for failing to secure the site. McKimmey denies approving the sale, and in fact denies listing the item at all. Now the buyer did what buyers do. They relisted it, sold it for over $308,000, almost 99 ETH. McKimmey bought that ape in December for $55. Now the complaint's been filed in Texas federal court, Harris County actually, according to the cover sheet anyway. It alleges that OpenSea was negligent because they continued to operate a marketplace with a critical vulnerability. According to the suit, this piece that was stolen ranks among the top 1,400 Bored Apes in terms of rarity. So that's why they're asking not only for $1 million, but the return of their ape. I don't really know what the plan is for the person who bought the ape from the sniper. If they go that route, a lot of cases, the unintentional buyer of stolen property just loses that money. If they recover it from the thief, that's one thing, but quite often they're just out that money. In the past, OpenSea has just compensated the victims with ETH, roughly equivalent to the floor value of the NFT that was lost. In the suit, it says, instead of shutting down its platform to address and rectify the security issues, defendant to continue to operate. Defendant risked the security of its users' NFTs and the digital vaults to continue collecting 2.5% of every transaction uninterrupted. I'm not aware of any public comment from OpenSea as yet. If you remember, we covered this bug in the past, actually. On January 24th, T-Baller ETH tweeted that their Bored Ape had been sold without their permission for 0.77 ETH, and it was sold almost immediately for 8.4 ETH. And we've covered a number of cases of theft surrounding OpenSea of late. There was one where people failed to cancel their listings, and that cost them their NFTs at a fraction of their value. That's just one example. And that's relevant because McKimmey says that OpenSea has privately approached other users that have faced listing issues. His claim is that they offer them the floor price of the NFT, and then they ask the victims to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. He says he's gotten nothing from them so far. The complaint urges OpenSea to, quote, address the known susceptibilities in its interface. The leading NFT marketplace recently migrated to new contracts, possibly in response to these issues. Canada's OSC flags Coinbase and Kraken tweets. Ontario Securities Commission has reported tweets from Brian Armstrong and Jesse Powell to the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. And there are a couple of tweets that are critical of Canada, Trudeau, and the use of Canada's Emergencies Act. They were released soon after it was invoked last week. What is the Emergencies Act? What does it do? In part, it allows Canada to blacklist crypto addresses with ties to the Freedom Convoy protests. According to the website The Logic, the Ontario Securities has, quote, flagged tweets from a couple of cryptocurrency exchange leaders. Now, on February 14th, Valentine's Day, Canada invoked its Emergencies Act, and the goal clearly was to shut down the Freedom Convoy. Now, they were protesting the COVID-19 restrictions, and they were occupying Ottawa's downtown, blocking traffic, honking horns, brought the whole area to a standstill. Now, in response to the Emergencies Act, Brian Armstrong from Coinbase tweeted, concerning to see stuff like this happening in any country, especially such an economically free place like Canada. Jesse Powell is the CEO of Kraken. He tweeted, do you see where this is going? I'm sure freeze orders are coming. He also said that his exchange will 100% be forced to comply with similar orders from law enforcement. Now, of note, Powell donated an entire Bitcoin to the Freedom Convoy movement, so he's invested. Both of them warned their customers the same thing that I've warned. Do not hold your money on an exchange. They said you're better off going with non-custodial off-exchange wallets. And in fact, I saw something from Coinbase and Ledger today, and I'll be talking about that in a bit. So what can they realistically do in Canada? They can keep crypto from off-ramping in the exchanges, but they cannot stop funds from moving around on-chain. That's the difference between a stablecoin and a CBDC. Keep that in mind. It's one of the differences anyway. So that brings us up to today, when the OSC brought the tweets to the attention of law enforcement, specifically the RCMP. Kristen Rose is the Commission's Manager of Public Affairs. Now, yesterday, on the 21st of February, she told The Logic, quote, we are aware of this information and have shared it with the RCMP and relevant federal authorities. I don't think they're going to get into any serious trouble over this, but from a certain light, it does look bad. It could look like they're advising their customers on how to evade Canada's regulations. Matthew Bourguignon is the head of cryptocurrency and blockchain group at McLeod Law in Calgary. And he said, it's not that they're breaking the law by making these statements, but it optically doesn't look great. There is a possibility that FinTrack could more closely monitor these exchanges as a result of these comments. It could be attracting some undue attention. Now, FinTrack, CSIS, and the RCMP would not say whether Kraken and Coinbase had made any reports to them in compliance with the emergency orders. They also wouldn't comment on whether they had received any additional intelligence related to the two CEOs' tweets. Coinbase wallet has Ledger wallet support. Okay, so it's probably coincidental timing given the last story, but it's a really good advertisement either way. So not only have they announced Ledger wallet support for Coinbase wallet, they plan to release a limited edition Coinbase branded Nano X hardware wallet. Coinbase wallet, for the uninitiated, is a product of the Coinbase exchange. It is their in-house wallet service. Well, they've released a browser extension that supports Ledger hardware wallets. So if you go to the Chrome web store, you can download this extension. I can personally confirm that it also works on the Brave browser. So if you're earning some BAT while you're surfing, you're still covered. I've had it for quite a while, actually, and I've been using Brave for a long time now. So this Coinbase wallet extension is a non-custodial wallet. It lets you store and trade cryptocurrencies and NFTs. Now, with Ledger support, that lets users incorporate a Ledger device to store private keys offline. Adam Zedekofis is Coinbase's senior product manager. He highlighted the development. He called it a means to providing an additional layer of security and greater peace of mind to users. He said, quote, "We want to empower everyone to use dApps and access Web3, and that requires building the easiest to use and most accessible self-custody wallet in the ecosystem. Today's release solves the ability to use a hardware wallet for enhanced security." As a part of whole launch celebrations, Coinbase has partnered with Ledger. Together, they released a limited edition Coinbase branded Nano X hardware wallet on Ledger's official website. Now, my understanding is that Coinbase stores around 12% of all crypto and more than 150 asset types. Alicia Haas says, quote, "Nearly 50% of our transacting customers are doing something other than buying and selling crypto, which indicates to us that crypto is moving beyond its initial investment phase into the long-expected utility phase. Unfortunately, Mars Stealer is coming up the works. It's a new piece of malware that threatens crypto wallets built as browser extensions, like MetaMask, Binance Chain, and Coinbase Wallet. It targets over 40 of these wallets by exploiting two-factor authentication. It uses a grabber function to steal your private keys. This is an upgrade to the OSC Trojan, and it can target all Chromium browsers. That's Chrome, Edge, and Brave. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Do you have questions or comments about the show? Reach out and let us know. Send us an email at crypto.overnighter@gmail.com. That's crypto.overnighter@gmail.com. You can also find us on Twitter and Twitter. Links to those platforms will be in the show notes. And please, if you could, like, subscribe, share, and comment, review the podcast. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, they do have a feature where you can rate a podcast directly from the app. So give us a 5-star rating. It would really help Tex and I out, and it would also help others find their way to this content. So getting the word out there helps them and us. Oh, and hey, give Crypto in 5 Minutes a lesson. We're up to 26 educational videos and counting. 5 minutes to explain one concept in crypto. And with that, may all your investments go up and to the right.